Product management is definitely a high paying job. There has been a lot of premium that has been paid to product manager in terms of compensation and salaries. And the reason for that is it is not easy.
You literally did English literature, right? During undergrad.
Swish that is coming into the market today, when you already got quick commerce players like Instamart, Blinkit, Zepto out there,
Yeah.
doesn't matter. If they're able to create value for the customer will stick.
According to you, what's non-negotiable for someone to be an exceptional product manager?
For Groww, the vision is to bring financial wellness to the entire country.
How high the salary can go?
40 to 60 lakhs as their compensation. This is the median range. But if you look at the peak, right, I know of people who've drawn as high as 80, 90 lakhs to 1 CR as well.
So, Jhashank, your background is in arts, and that's very unique to me because most PMs I interact with, they come from technical background or non-technical background, but they did business school or something like that. But you literally did English literature, right, during undergrad, and then you got into PM. What inspired you to pursue this path right after college?
If you look at it from my vantage point, right, it wasn't a conscious decision of getting into PM so much. Because what we're talking about is about 2014, 2015 is when I was entering the work stream. And at that point of time, product management was very, very nascent in the country. 2010 is when you started hearing this word called product management in the country. And 2012, with Flipkarts of the world getting bigger, it started becoming more popular. But for Jhashank as an individual, right, while I was still in college, the idea was to always keep tinkering. I was always a geek. I was interested in softwares. The journey started with Photoshop and looking at online tutorials and sort of just trying my hands on trying to learn that product. And through that, I started doing a lot of freelance graphic design, web design, with the idea of saying, can I make some pocket money while I'm still in college? And that graduated into me interning with an organization as a UI UX intern.
Okay.
So it wasn't so much a conscious decision, but how it started was interning as a UI UX designer. But at that point, what I did differently was, because I had some spare time, some bandwidth available as an intern, I didn't say no. So if there was some work related to content creation, I would do it. If there was some work related to business development, I would do it. If there was some work related to testing the new app which was being in the works, I would say, yes, I can do this. And I would use some of the skills that I had accumulated tinkering with software, tinkering with tech in my days, right, to do my best at that job.
Okay.
And which is when the organization decided to offer me a PPO as an APM, because they saw a few traits which make for a good PM. One, being able to handle multiple roles, being comfortable doing multiple things as a generalist, and having that intent to say, yes, I will go ahead and do it even if I don't know it.
In your experience, because you have worked at, I think, some of the most popular consumer internet companies in India, like whether it's Swiggy or Zomato or Groww right now. According to you, what's non-negotiable for someone to be an exceptional product manager?
Over the course of the last 10 years, right, I've spoken to a lot of product managers. And from my perspective, and this is my opinion, others might have a different opinion, some things that make for the top 1% product managers, or skills that you see repeated in every product manager that I look up to. The first one is they understand the customer really, really well. And understanding the customer not just from the perspective of their business, but from the perspective of who is this person? What is his mindset during the day? What are some of his goals and ambitions? What are things that are preventing him from achieving those goals and ambition? What has this user's trajectory been? And what are some of the pain points in this user's life that my product can solve, right? One is going really, really deep into who this customer is. Our job as product managers is to assimilate all these sources and then form hypotheses into what are some of the biggest pain points that are impacting the largest set of customers that I have. And then how can you surgically go and solve each of them one by one?
How do you prioritize?
So for me, I think everybody in the team, especially in my team, they're free to choose any framework, any method they want for prioritization. But in the end, keeping it very, very simple, it is just effort into impact.
Hmm.
What is the impact of solving this problem, not on the business, but in the customer's life? So even if there is zero business impact, but it will improve my customer's life more, I think that is high priority.
Okay.
And what is the effort it will take to solve it? So usually what we do is you would break down all projects into short-term wins and long-term bets. You would want to execute very, very quickly on your short-term wins. So you create impact continuously. You continue improving the life of the user actively. And then there are long-term bets, which you know will take time, where you know there are some uncertainties, there are some unknowns.
Yeah.
But in the long run, they will lead to a multiplier effect on the customer's life.
So, Jhashank, Groww has become the largest player now in India in terms of active investors. Last I checked, they have more than 10 million active investors. If you had to point to 3 reasons why Groww succeeded against incumbents, what would be those?
If you look at the journey of invest tech in the country, right, you had traditional brokers that have been around for, let's say, more than 3-4 decades. And then over the last decade, you see the rise of tech first discount brokers, which captured the fascination of the masses because they provided an easy access to the capital markets. And it is no sort of secret that Groww was very late to the party. And yet Groww has become the biggest player today for a couple of reasons. And if you sort of deconstruct it and look at it, right, one of the biggest reasons has been an unrelenting focus on the customer. So for Groww, the vision is to bring financial wellness to the entire country, not just the top 1% or the top 10% or the top 20% people who have the financial and the educational know-how to understand how capital markets work, right? From that perspective, trying to understand these customers, we had to realize that these customers come from different walks of life. They come from different cultural, educational, social backgrounds. A lot of our customers are from tier 2, tier 3, tier 4 cities who have not had the access to internet and to information the way users in tier 1 have had. So we had to ensure that we keep the customer in mind. Keeping this customer in mind, the focus has always been on simplicity. Can I simplify the complex financial jargon? Can I simplify complex sort of concepts of investing and bring it to my user in a fashion that it is very easy to understand? That it doesn't require you to go through like 12 chapters or 15 videos each before you can start investing.
Right. Basically, reducing the barrier to entry.
Yes. So the barrier to entry gets reduced by reducing the cognitive load. Because in the end, as we spoke about earlier, right, it is about people's money. So we have to be very, very responsible.
Yeah.
But can we simplify it and say that, okay, I will reduce the cognitive load. I will reduce the amount of decisions you have to make at every step in order to make an investment. Can I say I will reduce the amount of information I provide to you in one go? Can I say that instead of providing you a list of 500 stocks, I will say only look at one index, only look at the top 100 first. And then if you're an advanced user, there are ways to go deeper and deeper and deeper.
Yeah.
This also manifests in saying, can I provide financial information related to a company that you require to do your research on the product page itself? Can I make it simple? Can I make it in a fashion that in a glance you can understand the basics and then dive deeper if you want?
Yeah.
So from that perspective, I think one, just the focus on the customer. Second has been the simplicity with which the product has been designed by saying we'll reduce cognitive load. We will surface the most important information to you first. And third is transparency. Saying, can my user trust me to always provide them the truth? I think these three core principles have led to like stupendous growth for Groww as a product because we were able to create value for the end user.
I have been a big user of Groww for the last 3 years or so. When it comes to product strategy, how did you guys think about whether you should start with mutual funds or stock investing? because I think it was only mutual funds when I started using it. Over the years, I have seen them introduce new features, including stock trading. So, uh, do you know what was the insight behind how do we get started? Because when you started, there were competitors out there.
Correct. So let me talk of the journey of starting stocks, right? It might seem reductive, but in the end, it is about keeping your head peeled to the ground. At Groww, we started with mutual funds. Um, and because we were able to simplify the experience, we were able to make the experience more transparent, right? We found initial customer love. But I do know the journey of from mutual funds going to stocks. It was simply about listening to what the customer is saying that 80% of our customers who use mutual fund also want to invest in stocks.
Okay.
They love the experience we've built around investing in mutual funds and they're asking for it. Can we do a good job at it? Yes. Will it create value for the user? Yes. Are there competitors out there? Doesn't matter. Because in the end, the focus is who is my customer.
If you didn't do it yourself, they would still 80% of your users
Correct.
they would be using something else. Correct.
Absolutely. See, there is a pain in the customer's life. Am I in a position to solve that pain? Yes. Does it tie in with the overall vision that I have? Yes. These are the only two factors that matter. Nothing else matters.
Yeah.
It is about putting blinders on, having razor sharp focus, and just listening to the customers and creating value for them. Like you've got a product like Swish that is coming into the market today, when you've already got quick commerce players like Instamart, Blinkit, Zepto out there.
Yeah.
Doesn't matter. If they're able to create value for the customer will stick.
Yeah.
In the end, it is about solving that pain point and doing it better than what you were doing yesterday.
Yeah.
Our competition at Groww is with ourselves. Can we do better than what we were doing yesterday? Can we do better than what we were doing 1 week back? Can we be significantly better than what we were doing 1 month ago? And that has been the only path.
Okay.
Customer, right, left, center. Forget everything else.
Yeah.
Listen to them. And solve for those pain points. I think for me, like I'm strong on this opinion that if you focus on your customer and if you focus on solving for your customer and what their pain points are, if you deliver value for them, customers will pay.
Yeah, that's true. I don't know if directly tied to it, but I feel the whole growth around premium brands in India, many people are surprised. How come all these premium brands, which nobody was ready to pay for a few years ago, are growing so fast now?
Yeah.
And I feel like part of the reason is they have understood that what they were told about the Indian audience was probably not right.
So
They value quality more than they value quality. They also think about price. But if you give quality experience, quality products, people are more than willing to pay.
for the longest time, the narrative has been that the Indian customer doesn't want to pay.
Yeah.
But I think the reality is that the Indian customer does want to pay. In the last decade or so, the disposable income has been increasing.
Yeah.
But at the same time, the Indian customer is value conscious. The customer will pay if you are delivering value. To charge a premium price, you have to deliver 10x premium value.
Yes, correct. 100%.
And I'll still bring it back at the cost of sounding like a broken record to again listening to the customer and figuring out what value means for this person I am trying to solve for.
Is there any story that you can share with us in terms of coming up with a crazy new product, product initiative, or a feature idea that came out of listening to customers in your journey? A big one, something that all of us use on a day-to-day basis.
So again, I'll circle back to Zomato Gold, one of the favorite products that I worked on. When Zomato Gold started, the offering it revolved around offering 1+1 on food and 2+2 on beverages. And as an organization, we saw a lot of traction around the product and customers loved the product. But a few years into that journey, right,
Mm-hmm.
we started hitting a ceiling in the number of subscribers, in the revenue, in the number of customers we were able to retain. And diving deeper into that journey, right, we said that let's figure out why this is happening. Let's figure out why people are not finding value in Zomato Gold as a product. Because the offering is great.
Yeah.
You're getting significant value off on your bill. It is great for the restaurant partner because you've got more footfall, you've got more turnaround time on the tables. So you're making more money in the end.
Mm-hmm.
But there is some friction which is leading to maybe a miss in the product market fit for this product at this scale,
Mm-hmm.
right? And once we sort of went out to the customer and started talking to them, right, we realized that a lot of customers were not using Zomato Gold because it felt cheap. They didn't want to go out and say, I want a discount.
Okay.
Right? That was one. Second, there was this psychological feeling that once I tell the server that I'm going to use Zomato Gold, my experience is not going to be as great as when I had not told the server.
Mm-hmm.
And this was far from the truth, right? For the restaurant, I mean, restaurateurs do it because it is art for them.
Yeah.
There's no difference between a gold customer versus non-gold customer for them. But the psychological feeling of being treated differently because you asked for a discount was preventing users
What
from...
stage of treatment are we talking about? Because most people would say, I have Zomato Gold at the end, not the beginning of dining experience.
That is today. But earlier, when you had 1+1 and 2+2, you were supposed to tell this at the start of the experience.
Okay.
Right?
Okay. I haven't used that.
See, unconsciously, you have also ingrained that idea that I will tell it in the end of my experience so that I don't get treated differently.
Yeah.
You found a workaround for a problem that you think you have.
Mm-hmm.
And that was the insight that we discovered. From the restaurant's perspective, it led to uneven incomes on different bills, saying if it was a small table of 2 people, the discount they would shell out would be higher. But on a large table, the discount would be lower, so it would not add enough value for the customer. Saying if you're a 50-member table and you get one dish free, it doesn't do anything for you.
Mm-hmm.
From this insight, saying that, okay, we want to solve the problem of the customer where they don't feel that they're being cheap, and saying the restaurant is able to provide equal value to all customers, how can we solve this product? How can we solve this problem?
Mm-hmm.
Which is what gave rise to the product we today know as Zomato Pay. Wherein today, if you have to use Gold, you don't need to tell anything to the server. You don't need to ask for a discount on the bill. You can simply pay your bill on the Zomato app and the discount gets applied automatically.
Yes. And it's a very smooth experience.
It's a very smooth experience. There is no reason for you to call it out. And from the restaurant's perspective, there is certainty, there's predictability in saying that this is the discount I'm shelling out.
Yeah.
Instead of saying it will vary on the basis of the size of the table. Your restaurant partner is happier. Your customer is happier.
We are at the end now. There is one more question that I wanted to dive into, which is related to the career itself, building a career in product. They say it's hard enough to become a PM, even harder to become a great one. It requires a lot of effort, a lot of commitment, sometimes a decade to get to a stage where you have, you have achieved something. So my question to you, because you are a senior PM now at Groww, my question to you is it worth it? Both in terms of whether it's fulfilling, and second, in terms of financial rewards. What does it look like? How should, as early PMs or even aspiring PMs should think about it? All the effort, all the time gone into, growing in this role, will that be eventually worth it?
So, again, very interesting question, right? I think this is the question a lot of us have in the back of our heads. And all of us want to do well in our careers.
Yeah.
But what I feel is that product management is definitely a high paying job. There has been a lot of interest around this career space. There has been a lot of premium that has been paid to product manager in terms of compensation and salaries. And the reason for that is it is not easy. While it is very easy to get into a product role and say that I'm a product manager, being able to constantly put in the effort to learn, being able to constantly put in the effort to mitigate your shortcomings, being conversant in multiple languages so that you can talk to design, you can talk to engineering, you can talk to business, you can talk to marketing, it is not easy.
Mm-hmm.
But if you're ready to put in the hard work, it is definitely fulfilling.
Yeah.
For me personally, I think there have been two aspects of this job that have been very, very fulfilling. One aspect is being able to create tangible impact in the life of our users. This ties to not doing the same thing every day.
Mm-hmm.
Saying it is not monotonous. I am able to flex my the muscle that I have as a geek.
Yeah.
But I'm also able to flex my creative side because every day there is a new problem, there's a new challenge that you're trying to solve for, and that gives me a lot of excitement.
Mm-hmm.
Right? From a monetary aspect as well, right? I think today in the country, SPM can earn anywhere between, let's say, 40 to 60, 65 lakhs if you're working in a good organization. In some edge cases, this might even be higher. Right. But what is important is the ESOP journey. In the last 1 or 2 years, we've seen so many organizations listing on the capital markets and so many people making like very high valued rewards through their ESOP journey. Right. So today, as a PM, you can also get ESOPs which are comparable to what your cash component in hand is. And if the organization does well over a period of the next 4, 5, 10 years, right, you can make exponential returns on that. As they say, wealth creation does not happen through a paycheck.
When I think from an employee's point of view, ESOPs, great story, but they turn out to be true in very, very few cases.
Absolutely.
And I think they need lots of success stories. Unlike Silicon Valley, where these stories are very, very frequent. In India, I think we talk about Zomato, Swiggy, Paytm, and a few other companies which have gone to an IPO. And some people actually benefit from it. But it's still rare. Uh, while you're talking about the cash versus equity component, you must have had some experience while you were at Swiggy or Zomato. Can you talk a bit more about one of these?
So I'll tell you what my thoughts on this are. The India startup tech journey is just getting started. And I'm very confident that over the next decade, right, we'll see a lot more successes. What is important is that when you're picking up a role, you have high conviction in what the organization is doing and the problem they're solving.
Yeah.
If I talk of my journey at Zomato, right, at 3.5 years of experience when I came into the system, a year into the journey, having done well, I was granted some ESOPs, right? And over 2-3 years of vesting, when the IPO happened, I would have probably made 3 to 4x of what my cash component annual CTC was at that point of time in one go.
Okay.
Right.
That means it worked out for you.
Yes. I mean, as I said, right, you have to have high conviction on the organization you're joining and the problem you're solving. And you have to play the long game. It's not about short-term wins. It's about saying, what do I want in the next 10 years of my life?
Yeah. So as a senior PM, I wanted to know how high can somebody go? Because I think this is the final stage, more or less, for an ICPM, and which is the more exciting part of being a PM anyway. But how high the salary can go?
Navneet, there is no bar. Like there is a real dearth of good supply, people who want to work on their craft. If I talk of the average or the median range, right, number of years into 8 to 12 is a good benchmark.
Okay.
So somebody with, let's say, 5 years of experience should expect anywhere between 40 to 60 lakhs as their compensation. This is the median range.
Okay.
Obviously, some organizations might be lower, some organizations might be higher. But if you look at the peak, right, even at a SPM level with, let's say, 8, 9 or 10 years of experience, I know of people who've drawn as high as 80, 90 lakhs to 1 CR as well.
1 CR?
Yeah. And that's just the cash component. But that is depending on the kind of work you've done in the past, the kind of promise you have shown.
Okay. But that's still incredible. I thought only like one has to get into a people manager role to get that kind of a salary, which is the motivation for many people. Like many people want to become managers not because they're excited about it, but because they think that's the only way to earn more.
There are enough organizations today that will pay you very high salary as an ICPM. And that is the trajectory of a, let's say, a staff PM or a principal product manager, right? Where if you're exceptional at some specific part of building products, right?
Mm-hmm.
If you bring a skill to the table which very few people can bring,
Yeah.
like sky is the limit.
So with that, we come to the end of this podcast with Jhashank.
Thank you so much.
Really nice having you here. It was lovely talking to you.
Same here. It was nice being here.
Yeah, I am pretty sure our audience will find many of the insights very, very helpful for their careers. Yeah, thanks for your time. Looking forward to collaborating more in the future.
Thank you so much. I hope people enjoy what we spoke about.
They will, 100%.
Thank you.